I'm joined today by award-winning investigative journalist and best-selling author Daniel Estulin. The new book is TransEvolution, The Coming Age of Human Deconstruction. It's really great to have you. I've been researching you all morning, and you really have a very long and eclectic history of different areas you focused on. I mean, you've done a lot of research into the Bilderberg group. You were a very interesting guest on the Alex Jones show, where you talked about a possible assassination conspiracy against Congressman Ron Paul. Let's start maybe with the Ron Paul thing. How did you where did that come from, this assassination theory?
First of all, it's great to be on your show. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure and honor to be with you. The Ron Paul interview, if my memory serves me well, that was back in 2007, I think.
It was.
Yeah, it was always a way back. Now, I've been researching the Bilderbergers for almost 17 years or so, since the beginning of the middle of the 1990s, more or less. And a lot of the sources that I've developed over the years, and of course, people who have read my Bilderberg reports know that the information I get is true blue information based on the people who actually attend these meetings. So I was told by them, and it was confirmed by the people, some of the people that we know in the Secret Service. You can call them sympathizers, people who've read my reports, who've read my book, who know what I'm talking about, and who also understand that I try to expose these people because I think it's important, because freedom has no price, no matter how much these people try to pay and pay off, as they've tried to do with me way back in 2003 in France, in Versailles, when they gave me a blank check. And I asked them, how much does freedom cost? How many zeros? And they kind of patted me on the back and said, have a good day, Mr. Estulin. So that was the information I got from these sources. And I don't know if it helped, or if it had some kind of a positive impact on, but basically Ron Paul is still alive, so that's a good thing.
But so, in other words, when I think of that, what I understand you've written is that they were feeling threatened by his increasing popularity as a potential presidential candidate. Thinking back, at no point did real insiders I spoke to ever think Ron Paul had a real chance of being the next president of the U.S. So to me, putting aside whether it would be possible to assassinate him, from a pragmatic standpoint, it seems silly to conspire to kill a guy who had no shot.
I think what it was, and if I recall correctly, because it has been 7 years ago, it was a trial balloon more than anything else. It was the kind of thing that gets the debate going. And when you can debate things, you can get people to split up and talk about something. It means you're taking their attention away from something else. I think that was the basic point of what's behind this trial balloon more than anything else. Because as you said, Ron Paul had absolutely no chance of winning at all. He did have somewhat of a chance of splitting a vote, the right-wing vote, but. I think it's silly to think that his candidacy, and as we've seen it over the years, would have amounted to much as far as the voter recognition is concerned. But again, the trial balloon for me, and they have done this over the years, not only Bilderberg's but just in politics in general, is to get people debating things. If you can split them out, get people debate things, then again you take people away from real issues, and then these real issues somehow make their way into the mainstream without anybody noticing.
So you talked about Bilderberg Group. Is it possible to be someone who believes that the Bilderberg Group exists and that meetings are held, but doesn't believe that the ultimate goal is what you describe as a kind of world government or one world government? Can you believe the group exists but not be so conspiratorial?
I've never talked about world government at all. I've done everything in my power over the years to make sure that people understood it had nothing to do with world government, and there's no such thing, as four old geezers sitting in an old room holding hands, staring at a crystal ball, planning the world's domination. The world is a very complex place, and to think that you can get four people to sit there and make the world go around and the way they want it. I don't care if you're a Rockefeller, a Rothschild, or whoever you may be. It's not about one world government. It's not about an evil conspiracy, one-eyed monster, pyramid. It's about one world company. Corporations have a lot more power than any government on the planet.
And would it be fair to say that regardless of membership or lack of membership in the so-called Bilderberg Group, however it's loosely described, that really the focus should be on this kind of corporate plutocracy that exists and the power, the disproportionate power that big corporations have? Do you even need Bilderberg?
Well, you do not really, because again, as I said, it's a conveyor belt. It
Right.
was an important organization. It's a conspiracy reality. Let's put it this way: it's not a conspiracy theory. It was an important organization, or very important, back in the 50s and the 60s, when the people who really had certain level of power, wealth, and know-how they got together and built that organization. But today, if you look at some of the people in it, a lot of these people, I wouldn't let them clean my house, let alone participate in important meetings. But what they do is that the people who attend these meetings, all of them hold a position where they can influence, certain level of decision making. So you have the president of the World Bank, International Monetary Fund, Federal Reserve, European Central Bank. Then you have the European commissioners and the presidents of big corporations.
Right.
And when these people come together, it's obvious, that they're going to pull or push things in their direction. It's normal. And what I've done in this new book, the TransEvolution, is I've taken it, to a next level. Basically, I got 3 kids, and my oldest daughter is 16 years old. And, she or her generation, our generation of these children, they're the last truly human generation of human beings on the planet. Her children are going to be transhuman, post-human, man, machine, cyborgs, who are beings but not totally human, part man, part machine. And that's the evolution. And we're seeing it today. And what I've done is, in TransEvolution, is explain, if you go back 6,000 years, and again, think of a pyramid. The people who controlled knowledge 6,000 years ago were the high priests, and they, gave it to us one drop at a time, just enough so we can do our jobs. But today, this pyramid is inverse pyramid, because anybody, sitting in a tree in the middle of an Amazon forest or in the middle of Patagonia, okay, one of the most beautiful, parts of the entire planet, with a computer and an internet connection, has access to the entire history of human knowledge at their fingertips. And if you're the elite, it's a dangerous thing. So what they've done is they're using this technological advancement and technology and development, which is very expensive, very, very expensive, okay, to make sure that they again get the upper hand.
Sure. Well, let's talk. I mean, to talk a few of the things that interest me and that I've discussed on my show quite a bit, which are either directly or kind of tangentially talked about in your book, are certainly we may be somewhere between 5 to 15 years away from significantly better cancer treatments, for example. And an interest of mine, and we've already started to hear some comments, including from big pharma CEO, about whether there is really a financial interest because of the corporate system that we have in curing cancer, because so much money is made from the lifelong treatment of the disease. You talk about augmented reality in the book as well. And when we look at those technologies, and will they just be for the rich, or will they be for everyone? So I was interested in your book because so much of what you discuss is fascinating, but the corporate structure, the financial system, concerns me as far as who will these technologies be available to?
Touche. That's a beautiful question. That's one of the best questions anyone has ever asked me. Well, that's the whole thing. People who have the money, and you can actually buy immortality. Well, how much will it cost? Well, I don't know. How much do you want to pay to live another 200 years? A bazillion dollars? I don't have it, so I can't live it. And as far as what you're saying is concerned, scientists are convinced that by 2035, not some kook scientists, by Nobel, prize-winning scientists, by 2035 is just around the corner. It's less than a generation away. The first successful attempt to transfer one's personality to an alternative carrier will take place. And they're talking about this, the epoch of cybernetic immortality. So in one generation, bodies made of nanorobots, can take any shape or rise alongside, holograph bodies. And by 2045, we'll be able to, download our consciousness into an avatar of our being. So literally, we'll be able to live forever. But
it's the consciousness.
It's the consciousness, exactly. And to most people, how do you explain that? You can't. Okay? But the whole thing about projects such as Project Russia 25 movement, they're creating a new vector for civilization aimed at future human development and evolution by integrating these new discoveries and development from science, physics, energetics, aeronautics, bioengineering, nanotechnology, neurology, cybernetics, cognitive science.
So let me ask you, in the very limited time we have left, with every new technology, there has been misuse of that technology. So I know you could probably talk an hour about this, but in looking at the next 50 or 100 years in technological development, what's the biggest concern for the negative effects or misuse of that technology?
You just said it, misuse of the technology, because you can have, with the technology we have today, you can have a surgeon operating from Philadelphia on a little girl who has, leukemia in the Philippines. And you can also have a 4-star general sitting in his office in the Pentagon, kill a whole bunch of people using almost the same kind of technology, half the world away, using a drone. So it all depends on how we, the people, will understand that technology can really be a saving grace for mankind, because in the future, our future as human beings is to conquer space, to leave the planet Earth and emigrate, because we're going to come to a point where there's going to be so many people, we're going to have to conquer space. And that's why I have these amazing projects right now. Mars One project, the Russians and the European Space Agency are getting ready to conquer Mars in 4 years. We're going to Mars.
All right, we've been speaking with Daniel Estulin. Although we don't agree about the Ron Paul assassination theory, we certainly had an interesting conversation. Check out the new book, TransEvolution, The Coming Age of Human Deconstruction. Daniel, thanks for doing this.
Wonderful to be on your show. Thank you.